Okay, we're going to do a somatic tracking guided meditation for people who have chronic pain. And somatic tracking is different than meditation for chronic pain, as it's often taught, because the idea is that for 90% of chronic pain states and conditions, it's possible to use meditation to actually begin to reduce and unlearn pain. So it's best coupled with an assessment to see if your particular chronic pain situation is neuroplastic in nature or related to structural damage. Sometimes it can be a combination. So assuming you have been assessed and you're part of the 90% of people with chronic pain that has a neuroplastic condition that can be unlearned, I'm going to walk you through how to think about doing meditation as part of recovery. So it doesn't matter where the pain is in the body. It can be in the head, it can be in the foot, it can be in the abdomen, the back, the hips, anywhere. And once you've been assessed and it's been determined that your pain is neuroplastic, what that means is that the body part where the pain is originating is not the source of the pain. There's not damage there. And somatic tracking can be used both as a way to reduce symptoms and as a way to explore them as part of your assessment. It can be used to confirm that the pain is indeed caused in the brain, triggered by the brain because of fear. And we'll get into that during the meditation. So we can begin the meditation, find a comfortable seated position. You can also do this while standing or laying down. And you want to begin the meditation by grounding your attention in the body. Noticing the whole body sitting or laying down or standing. It's the outline of your skin. It's best to begin somatic tracking when your pain is at a mild or moderate medium amount. You generally don't want to do somatic tracking when it's very high, because it can just create a feedback loop of more and more pain and fear. So wait until such a time as your pain is more manageable in the medium to low amount. When we have a really high amount of pain, you want to just distract yourself, find a way to pass the time using various coping mechanisms, and then come back to this when it feels more approachable. So we're noticing the outline of the body. We're noticing pressure from where we're resting our body right now. And you can bring your attention to any sounds happening, noticing indoor sounds and outdoor sounds, quiet nearby sounds and far away sounds. And bringing your attention to the breath, noticing the inhale, exhale, the beginning, middle, and end of a breath. And after grounding in the body, you can switch your attention to mental factors, to noticing what sort of emotion or mood you're having right now. Is it more anxious, fearful, concerned? Is it calm, tranquil, relaxed? Do you feel really greedy, really wanting something to happen, really needing something to change? Do you feel aversive, like wanting to get rid of the pain, wanting to finding my voice annoying, finding the way you're sitting annoying, just finding everything uncomfortable? Then you can just notice, okay, aversion is here. This is the mind hating things, being averse to things, or this is the mind being calm, being relaxed. Sometimes there's a mixture. We might notice our mind is just judging everything. Sometimes it's in a judgmental mood. And this is a process we call mental noting, just giving labels to things to encourage awareness, precision, clarity of mind. This is what's happening right now. Just knowing what's happening in your mind moment by moment. Rather than judging it as good or bad, we can just notice, oh, tendency to judge. Judging is here. Shame spiral is here. Difficulty is here. Or calmness is here. Wanting to hold on to the calmness and relaxation. Wanting to intensify something. Whatever the mind is wanting to do, we can just observe it, feel into it. After you get a sense of how your body's doing, and then how your mind is doing, you can start the process of noticing the area in your body where there's a lot of unpleasant sensation. You don't have to pick the worst spot. You can pick a medium spot. Many people have more than one chronic pain zones in their body, so you can select one of those. And before you bring your attention to it, see if you can summon a quality of curiosity, as if this was the first time you ever had the sensation and you really wanted to understand it. You wanted to be able to describe it clearly to another person. And you want to set aside anything that would get in the way of clear perception. So any anger, any fear, anxiety, see if you can just put those on the shelf just for 10 or 15 minutes while you're trying to get a close, unfiltered look at these sensations. The direct physical sensation we can get in touch with, and I'm going to give you some more precise words to use as you're observing it. So first, just take a look at the sensation and see what words you would come up with to describe it more precisely than pain. What do you notice there, where these unpleasant sensations are? What's happening? Sometimes people have a perception where they might say broken or stabbing, burning. The word broken has so many additional meanings besides a direct physical perception. So I would encourage words more like pulsating, tingling, hot, warm, cold, icy. Sometimes people notice numbness or blankness, emptiness, void. Sometimes they notice heaviness or lightness. And I'm going to give some other just ways to describe physical sensations that might or might not apply. Flat, rough, smooth, soft or hard, prickly, burning, I mentioned already. It's a common one for pain. So see if you can select 1 to 2 to 3 words that feel most descriptive. See if the sensations, sometimes they start to change as we're trying to apply a word to them. We find the right word and then the sensation matches that word even more clearly, or it doesn't, shifts away. Are you still able to be curious towards the sensation, or are you hoping that this process is going to eliminate or reduce the sensation? Just be aware. As much as possible, we want to be curious. We don't want to try to drive away the pain with mindfulness. That's sort of a contradiction. Mindfulness is about allowing, feeling into, observing, understanding. It doesn't take strong views around whether a sensation is good or bad, or needs to stop. It's just it's just noticing. If fear starts to come up, sometimes we might feel a chill or a numbness through our whole body, so an emotion is starting to take hold as we're observing the unpleasant pain sensations. And in that case, you can switch your attention to the fear if it feels important to do that. And you can notice the whole body vibrating with fear, tension perhaps in all the muscles in your body, heart beating faster, and just noticing, okay, fear is here, fear is okay, fear is not a danger. Returning to the area where there's pain, you can notice the edge of where the pain is often where we can notice change. And mindfulness is about being open to and seeing change. So on the edge of where the pain is, you may notice between the area where there is no pain and the area where the pain starts, you might notice extra change there, vibrating, pulsating. Just aim your attention there and see what you find. If the pain goes up while paying mindful attention to it, that's a sign of neuroplasticity. Damage in the body, a broken bone or a sprained ankle, it's not going to go up by a lot if you just pay attention to it. It usually would not change very much, if at all. Whereas neuroplastic pain conditions often change because we're paying attention to it, when we're paying attention to it. And so going up might be scary at first until you realize, oh, that's a sign of neuroplasticity. That means that body part is safe and healthy and not damaged. And so it's good news, actually, even if it's momentarily quite unpleasant. It can increase trust in the mind-body healing process. Of course, the same is true if the pain goes down. That's what most people hope for, whether they want to or not. We all want the pain to go down on some level. And that's also a sign of neuroplasticity. It's very common in clients I work with that doing a guided somatic tracking, their pain will cut in half at some point during 15 minutes of paying gentle attention to it. And that can really increase confidence that you're on the right track, that the brain is involved in amplifying and switching on the pain signal. A good number of people who try somatic tracking experience no change in their sensations. Their sensations stay steady. Towards the edge of the pain, they don't really feel any different. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. They have the same amount of pain in the morning as at the night. And still, if they've had a medical assessment, it can still be the case that they have a mind-body syndrome and is actually quite common. So this is really used more to confirm mind-body, but the absence of shifting and changing does not disconfirm. And I won't go into details about that, but it's something that we've written about, and I'll include a link to explore that question more. So you may have noticed change, you may not have noticed change. And this can be a good time to review reasons why you believe that your body part is safe and not damaged. And so I'm just going to give you some examples that you may remember from your own assessment. So many people will review the fact that they were never injured in that body part. The pain just started one day. Another thing people review is that often the pain sensations are way worse in the morning or in the night. They're way worse when we're stressed out, emotionally stressed. They may disappear when we're on vacation or on the weekend when we have less work stress, or when we have time to ourselves. There's a number of diagnoses of exclusion, which mean you've been checked out medically and your body was found to be free of disease, free of damage. So just a few of those conditions is fibromyalgia, which means you've had rheumatoid arthritis ruled out, irritable bowel syndrome, which means you've had inflammatory bowel disease and other bowel diseases ruled out, interstitial cystitis, which is a bladder pain, which means you've had medical causes of bladder pain ruled out. And there's a whole list of various medical syndromes on our website that are shorthand for the body's not damaged. We're not sure why you have this pain, but we're giving you a medical term for it. And most of those syndromes can be unlearned through mind-body healing practices. So reviewing that, okay, yeah, I've been checked out medically. They gave me this term. The term is a bit scary, but it basically means they're not sure why I'm like this. That can be something to review and say, okay, yeah, I don't have a clear medical pathological condition. So my body's safe, my body's healthy, I can recover from this through neuroplastic retraining. So we can notice the unpleasant sensations, the pain, and then we can remind ourselves, this sensation is fundamentally safe. It's not a sign of damage. Pain is not a measure of tissue damage. It is the brain's attempt to protect the body part. It's a decision on the brain's part to warn us of something. And so we're telling our brain, hey, we don't need this warning signal anymore. It's a false alarm. The body part is healthy, it's fine. I don't need this warning signal anymore. And we're also telling ourselves, even if the warning signal is on, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be afraid of it. This pain is safe. It's fundamentally just a false alarm. I'm okay. So just to review, somatic tracking for chronic pain is a multi-step process where we ground our attention in the body, in the mind, arriving at the present moment. Then we pay attention with curiosity to unpleasant, painful sensations while reviewing that the body part is safe, unharmed, not injured, that we know it's safe and okay, and that this unpleasant signal is a false alarm. We don't need to be afraid of it, and we don't need to be afraid of the damage because we know the body part is safe. And so by pivoting from being curious, being interested in the sensation, and then teaching our brain that the sensation is safe and fine and okay, the brain will gradually, usually over many weeks and months, start to update its prior beliefs. It will start to say, hey, maybe I don't need to give this warning signal anymore. maybe that body part is fine. It takes a while for the brain to update. And so we have to just get more and more comfortable with the unpleasant sensation, and we have to just repetitively give the brain this updated information, soothing it, calming it, being gentle with the brain, much like you would be with a terrified 4-year-old who's scared of a monster in the closet. Just saying, hey, it's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. And then opening the closet door, showing there's nothing here to be afraid of. There's nothing in here. And so you're soothing and you're teaching, soothing and teaching. And so it's usually recommended to do, if you can, 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes every, at least a few times per week. And gradually, the pain signals will begin to reduce. And this is recommended to be combined with several other modalities that you can find on the website, including emotional processing, behavioral modifications, returning to activities that you used to do that you've stopped doing with gentleness, maybe just 10% at a time, 10% per week, more activity, and several other tools. And this is how chronic pain can be unlearned. Now you can open your eyes, reconnect with the world around you, and that concludes the meditation.